Malicious compliance can be the best. I'm your host, Height. Let's see who's been blessed. Our first one is from Mother Soraka. I work IT support for a medium-sized company. We've always been allowed to have our phones at our desks. Sometimes family emergencies can happen. Doctors call back, whatever. As long as we aren't scrolling social media all day, nobody cared. New manager comes in last month, sees one person checking a text and loses it. Sends out an email.
Effective immediately. No personal phones during work hours. They must be left in your car or locker. This means 9 to 5. No exceptions. Anyone caught with the phone will be written up.
Okay, sure, boss. The thing is, our manager works from home 3 days a week. And when server issues pop up after hours or on weekends, guess how he contacts us? That's right, our personal phones. We don't have company phones. Friday afternoon, 4:45 p.m., major server issue. I see it, could fix it in 10 minutes, but my phone's in my car, as per policy. I calmly finish my work at 5 o'clock and walk out. By the time I get to my car and check my phone at 5:15, I have 17 missed calls and a string of increasingly panicked texts from my manager. The server has been down for 30 minutes. Multiple departments can't do anything. I call him back. Hey, just got to my car and saw your calls. What's up? He's furious, molding and seething, asking why I didn't answer. I remind him about the no phones policy. He says that's different. This was an emergency. I point out that his email said,
No exceptions.
And I was just following policy to avoid a write-up. Monday morning, new email.
Personal phones are permitted at desks for emergency purposes.
Back to normal then. You gotta love when you see the new manager come into town and they want to act like their policies are the only policies that matter, you know. There's that saying too, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Funny how this manager came in and broke shit immediately, only to have to completely backtrack. This next one is by Stemcella. I work in a role where I own a portion of the software. I don't work in IT, but I do system configuration for the portion I manage. I had admin access until one day IT removed it without warning and without notice. They claimed risk and board decisions. Of course, I could rampage and get my access back because it saves the company a significant amount of money each year, as we don't need the external contractors. There's also no one else in the company that knows my part of the system or how to create business rules, scripting, and coding for this particular system. While people know JavaScript, they would need to become familiar with the system, which takes time. Instead, fine, sends a list of all the things they now need to take over so the work still gets done. Noted there can be no delays in turnaround time, despite there being an extra step. Noted that I will need to approve every change and configuration. The list totaled to approximately 30 hours per week. It also requires 6 a.m. starts at points through the month. I made sure to also confirm they would also be required to come with me for all meetings regarding the system or data, because I won't be repeating myself or duplicating my effort. Within 30 minutes, the decision was reversed and I had my access back. I don't think that'll be changing back anytime soon. Not when we work under separate budgets and their team always cry time and cost poor. Funny how when the OP literally just tells them, fine, you guys are gonna have to do a bunch of extra work, they decide they don't want to do that extra work and just go with what was working before. Another one of those cases of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And our final one is from GabbyFest234. So I rent rooms out in my house. I generally do it with friends or friends of friends. A couple years ago, I had this roommate who was the ex-husband of a friend of mine, and I felt sorry for him, so I gave him a discount on rent. He still fell behind, but that's a totally different malicious compliance story. He was the worst roommate I've ever had, for many reasons. But for this account, he was pretty much living off of canned food when he wasn't stealing my food, and he used my can opener every day. Well, he broke it, and he came to me and told me that as a landlord, I needed to get a new can opener. Before I get to the malicious compliance, let me add, he was very proud of his Harvard PhD. He didn't use it in his minimum wage job, but he never avoided an opportunity to remind me that my PhD was from a state school and that his was from Harvard. Note, I was working in the career that used my PhD knowledge, and the program I went to has several Nobel laureates, and I've worked with some of them. My roommate was pretty much a failure in life and had slipped into leeching off of others to survive. He had no marketable skills. Anyway, the malicious compliance. I bought a new can opener, but I got one that is really tricky to use. It basically works like an electric can opener, but is manual. I knew there was no way this incompetent roommate would be able to figure out how to use it, and he couldn't. I'd find mangled cans in the garbage, not even recycling. He came to me and asked how to use the can opener. My response? A guy with a Harvard degree should certainly be able to figure that out on his own, if a guy like me can. What fantastic malicious compliance to get back at somebody that has to be a miserable person to live with, especially since they want to keep bragging about their Harvard PhD, but not have any job or any career field that utilizes that Harvard PhD. One has to question how they got that when they couldn't even figure out how to work a can opener. Alright, that's enough maliciousness for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Malicious Compliance. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.